Have you ever questioned the divine figures woven into the fabric of ancient scriptures? What if the God central to the Bible's narrative wasn't the only one present in the original tales? Today, we delve into a hidden chapter of spiritual history, the enigmatic African god who, according to forgotten traditions, confronted Moses and challenged the foundations of Judeo-Christian faith. This isn't mere speculation. It's a journey through erased histories, ancient wisdom, and the forces that reshaped belief systems across millennia. Our story begins in the cradle of civilization, ancient Africa, long before the Bible was compiled. Africa wasn't a land of superstition, as colonial narratives later claimed. It was a continent pulsing with sophisticated spiritual systems. From the Nile Valley to the vast savannas, peoples revered deities that embodied cosmic forces. Take Egypt, around 3000 BCE, where gods like Amun-ra, the hidden one fused with the sun god, ruled over a theocracy blending religion, science, and governance. Priests were astronomers and healers, using rituals tied to the stars and the Nile's floods. This wasn't pagan chaos. It was an organized cosmology, influencing everything from pyramid construction to pharaonic rule. Economically, Egypt thrived on this spiritual backbone. The Nile's fertility, seen as a gift from gods like Hapi, supported massive agriculture, feeding empires and enabling trade across the Mediterranean. Politically, pharaohs claimed divine descent, legitimizing their power through gods like Osiris, god of the afterlife. Technologically, this faith drove innovations, embalming for eternal life, hieroglyphs to record divine decrees, and massive temples as centers of learning. But Africa's spirituality extended beyond Egypt. In West Africa, the Yoruba people honored Olodumare, the supreme creator, a formless essence of existence, around 1000 BCE. Similarly, the Akan revered Nyame, the sky god who manifested through nature's signs. No temples needed, just reverence for the world. Now enter Moses, around 1400 BCE, during Egypt's new kingdom under pharaohs like Ramses II. The Bible portrays him as a Hebrew raised in Pharaoh's court, but historically, this mirrors tales of cultural exchange in the ancient Near East. Moses would have been immersed in Egyptian mysteries, learning magic, astronomy, and the pantheon. Imagine a prince schooled by priests who communed with invisible forces. Then comes the burning bush encounter in Exodus, circa 1300 BCE, a fire that doesn't consume the bush, a voice saying, "I am who I am." But what if this wasn't the Hebrew god Yahweh alone? African traditions suggest parallels with ancestral deities. Fire as purification, voices from nature echoing gods like mawu-lisa of the Fon people, a dual creator balancing male and female energies. Why confront Moses? In the narrative, this entity humbles him, testing his spirit before commissioning him to free the Hebrews. Moses hesitates, fears, even stutters, signs of awe before an overwhelming presence. This wasn't a gentle call. It was a spiritual trial, akin to initiations in African mystery schools where adepts face trials to transcend ego. Culturally, it challenges the Bible's monotheism, which scholars trace to evolving from polytheism. Early Hebrew texts use Elohim, a plural for gods, hinting at a council of deities absorbed into one. As we move to the Exodus, around 1250 BCE, Moses clashes with Pharaoh. The plagues, blood, frogs, darkness, mirror challenges to Egyptian gods, blood against Hapi, darkness against Ra. But Egyptian magicians replicate early signs, humiliating Moses initially. Historically, no Egyptian records confirm these plagues, suggesting the story may be symbolic or exaggerated for Hebrew identity. Politically, this era saw migrations and conflicts. The Hebrews, possibly Habiru nomads, escaped bondage amid Egypt's weakening empire. Economically, slavery fueled Egypt's building projects, but spiritually, Moses' mission fused African elements, fire, voices, with emerging monotheism. By 1000 BCE, under kings like David and Solomon, Jewish monotheism solidifies. Yahweh becomes central, but earlier texts reference other gods like El or Baal, absorbed or demonized. Why erase an African deity? As Judaism centralized, scribes edited oral traditions into texts like the Torah, compiled around 500 BCE during the Babylonian exile. Political pressures, from Assyrian conquests in 722 BCE to Persian rule, demanded a unified god for national identity. Culturally, this suppressed African influences, seen in artifacts like Ugaritic tablets from 1400 BCE showing divine councils. The silence deepens with biblical canonization. Councils like Jamnia in 90 CE excluded books like Enoch, quoted in the New Testament, but revealing angelic hierarchies and forgotten wisdom. Nag Hammadi texts from 1945 CE uncover Gnostic views of replaced deities, echoing African pluralism. Why censor? To forge monotheism amid Roman rule. Christianity adopts this in 325 CE at Nicaea, blending with Greco-Roman ideas while sidelining African roots. Fast forward to colonization, starting 15th century CE. European powers, Portugal, Britain, France, impose Christianity on Africa. Economically, the slave trade from 1500–1800 CE uprooted millions, stripping spiritual identities. Missionaries demonized Yoruba, Orishas, or Akan gods as pagan, enforcing a civilizing faith. Politically, this justified empires. King Leopold II's Congo Free State in 1885 used religion to mask exploitation. Culturally, it amputated traditions. Drums banned, ancestors labeled demonic. Technologically, colonial education erased indigenous knowledge, replacing it with Western science divorced from spirit. The impact? Globally, it reshaped faith. Christianity and Islam absorbed African elements but suppressed origins, influencing 2 billion believers today. Regionally, Africa suffered spiritual disconnection, fueling identity crises. Yet legacies endure. Syncretic faiths like Vodou in Haiti blend African gods with Christianity. Movements like Pan-Africanism in the 20th century, led by figures like Kwame Nkrumah, reclaim roots. Archaeologically, finds like the Merneptah stele from 1208 BCE mention Israel, hinting at blended histories. Today, this revelation transforms spirituality. For Africans and diaspora, it's healing. Reclaiming gods like Olodumare fosters pride, countering colonial shame. Globally, it questions monotheism's exclusivity, promoting pluralism in a diverse world. Lessons? History's erasures distort truth. Questioning reconnects us. As we reflect, remember, the divine isn't confined to one narrative. It burns eternally, waiting to be rediscovered in our shared human spirit.